Hello, my little gorgeous people. Welcome. I am back at you with another story time. In today's story time, I will be telling you about the very first time I almost got into a fight. Oh, wow. This is a really weird video. I don't think I've ever talked about it before, but if I haven't, good for me. And if I have, well, I'm pretty sure I haven't told the full story, and now you get to know. Just a quick thing, I don't really promote violence, even though I might like joke around and be like, I'm gonna push my friends down the stairs, or I'm gonna punch you in your throat, or anything like that. I wouldn't actually do any of that. I'm not a physically violent person. Like, sometimes I might yell if I get overwhelmed with things, and that, I think that's a lot with a lot of people, but violence is something I wouldn't actually turn to unless, like, it was really necessary, or, like, if it was self-defense, anything like that. So please don't take this video as, oh, she's this really violent person, and we shouldn't like her, because trust me, I'm not violent like this. And along with this story time, I'll tell you guys the first time, getting into a fight, well, kind of a fight, a time where I got in trouble for hitting somebody, and then a time where another I almost got into a fight story, but they'll all be combined into one, and it'll just be titled A Time I Got Into a Fight. It was in 5th grade, oddly to say. I remember we were in music class because, we had 3, like, elective type things that we didn't really choose. We went to one a day, and it was, one was PE, one was art, and one was music, kind of getting kids used to, like, all these different things. Like, what are you going to want to do when you go off to middle school and high school? It was getting closer towards the end of the year, because I remember we were supposed to take class pictures, and I wasn't in the class picture because I was actually in trouble at the time. We were in music class, and I was writing on a chalkboard, and I remember I don't remember what I was writing, but to me it was, like, really important, and this kid came and erased it, and at first I was like, okay, cool, whatever, and then I was writing it again, and then he came and erased it again. So, like, I pushed him out the way, and I was standing on, like, a little ladder, and he dragged me off of it. Remember, I a female, him a guy, showing that girl can do whatever she wants. He, like, dragged me off this ladder, and I remember he, like, dragged me to the ground, and I was shook for a good minute. Like, I was like, what is this? Oh my god, like, is this actually a thing? And I remember, like, I remember tomboy, so I had a lot of guy friends, and they were like, what the frick is going on? So I remember, like, I pushed him, like, because he was, like, on me, and I pushed him, and I didn't, like, really feel pain that much. And I remember, like, we were, like, rolling around a little bit, and, like, people were yelling for our music teacher's name, and she, like, wasn't caring. Like, she did not care. She was like, whatever, they're fine. I'm pretty sure they're just being dramatic. And I remember he, like, he grabbed me by my neck and, like, slammed me onto the ground, like, physically onto the ground. I remember hitting my head, and I would try to get up, and he would, like, slam my head back onto the ground. And, like, yeah, it hurt, but I laughed. Like, I wasn't like, ow, I didn't cry. I laughed about it. I remember my friend Shane, one of the best guy friends I had back in elementary school. He went to get this kid off of me because, best friend. And he's like, you don't hit girls, stuff like that, which and remember, this kid thought he was a ferret. I thought he was part ferret. Why did he think that? I don't know, and I'm not kidding. Like, he literally would say he was part ferret, and he didn't clip his nails because he was part ferret. Eventually, our music teacher came over, and, like, we got sent to the office with me, him, and my friend Shane, because Shane, he wasn't involved, but, like, he was, like, a witness, even though the whole class was kind of a witness. And Shane, like, right here on his arm, like, had, like, deep marks kind of from this kid's claws, and he was nails, and he was bleeding, and then I was bleeding, so, they gave us band-aids. They asked what happened. I explained. I didn't get in trouble, and neither did Shane. But the other kid was told that he was suspended from school. Like, they actually suspended an elementary school kid. Like, I didn't know that was a thing. And they told his mom that he was not allowed to come to school Monday and Tuesday. Like, he was gone. He was not allowed to be at school for 2 days. Well, it was Saturday and Sunday, so she was like, oh, well, those days count, and brought him Monday. And the school was like, everybody's off Saturday and Sunday. Like, it's a weekend. He's not supposed to be here. But she wouldn't come pick up her kid, and they were just like, whatever, cool. Restraining order. Like, they gave him a school restraining order where he wasn't allowed to be near me or Shane. He wasn't allowed to do certain things at the playground. Like, he was, like, literally benched for the entire season. And yeah, that was, like, the first time I kind of got into a fight. Like, it wasn't, like, a real fight. But I remember my mom calling everyone, and she was like, oh my god, my daughter was fighting somebody. And I was like, that's not really what it was. But I mean, I guess, whatever. This one's kind of short. It was in 6th grade before I moved to Texas. I was still in Iowa. And my friend Peyton, we were playing around, and we were just talking, and he was like, hit me as hard as you can. And I was like, okay. And, like, I didn't really think it was gonna hurt. So I hit him, and, like, he doubled over on the floor, and, like, he was eventually, like, he started crying, and, like, people were like, what happened? And I was like, he told me to hit him as hard as I could, so I did. And like, I felt so bad afterwards because I didn't think I was gonna hit him that hard. Like, I didn't think I had that hard of a hit. And I remember they're like, what happened? We were playing around. So like, they pulled us into the office and they're like, what happened? And I was like, I was playing around. And like, they pulled up the security cameras and they're like, it looks like you were going in to like actually punch him. And I was like, no, like I was joking. Like, I didn't think it was that hard of a hit. Like, I swear. Of course, I got in-school suspension for 3 days because, you know, there's no violence policy at the school. But the principal literally said, I don't think your daughter's a bad kid, you know, like she wouldn't do anything like this on purpose. And I was like, then why am I in trouble if you know I'm not a bad kid? Like, we were literally playing around. I didn't understand. And then the third one, which is also pretty short, it was also in 6th grade, the second half of my 6th grade year. I was in Texas, and I remember I was friends with this girl named Courtney. I was also friends with this girl named Kaylee. And once again, you know, big tomboy, like, was like, hit me if you want, like, I'm gonna hit you back. She was starting a lot of drama between me, not like me and Kaylee in general, but like saying stuff about me and saying stuff about Kaylee and just like talking a lot of mess that wasn't true to our friends. I wasn't having it, so I remember we had PE together, and like I stormed over to her, and like she was like against the mat with her little group of friends, and like I pushed past them and I was in her face, and I was like, you really want to? I cursed a lot. Like I changed a lot from when I was in junior high. Like, I was like yelling at her and everything, and I remember Kaylee came up and she grabbed me. She goes, Diamond, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. You know, like, that's literally all you ever hear these days when it comes to someone about to fight. Like, it's like, oh, don't do it. She's not worth you getting in trouble. And I was like, yeah, she is. And lastly, also in 6th grade, I'm not gonna say these girls' names because I wasn't really friends with them. This girl was dating this kid named Austin, and I was friends with Austin, and Austin would walk me home because, you know, his neighborhood was right here, and my neighborhood was literally the street next to his. And, you know, we were already going the same way, so it didn't really matter. Well, this other girl named Australia, I'll say her name. These are just the other people I won't. Had the hugest crush on Austin, and she hated that I walked home with him. So she told his girlfriend that we walked home together, and we would kiss and things like that. And, like, I was like, you being that girl, which was not true. I would never have dated Austin. He was like a brother. And I remember she was like, we're gonna meet across the street at the park. And I was like, no, we're not. So that day I told Austin that let's not walk home together. And I had already started walking home, and her friends were waiting there, and like they were following me, they were getting in my face and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm not gonna fight you. Like, I really have no reason to fight you. Because I was already like changing. And I remember I called my aunt because I was staying with her for a while because we had just moved down here, and I was like, these girls are trying to fight me. And then my aunt got there, and they started all these rumors, and I remember my mom literally saying, if you get your ASS beat, you deserve it. And I was like, wow. So then my mom called my friend Teddy's mom, and Teddy explained everything that happened because she was there with me. And my mom apologized because she was like, oh, I'm sorry that I didn't leave. And I was like, no, like, you literally said I deserved to get fought. Like, I didn't do anything. But of course they didn't tell my aunt or my mom anything about like me kissing her boyfriend. Apparently they just told her that I was saying all these horrible things and like I was cursing them out, and I was like, that's not even what happened, but that's cool, whatever. But that's all I have. Those are the times I almost got into fights through like 5th grade and 6th grade. Wow, that's really depressing when I think about it. Like, what was wrong with me? If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below a time where you've almost got into a fight, or if you've ever been in a fight, and subscribe because I make videos every single Tuesday and every single Saturday. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.